Anyway, you want.
Open the seventh Sukkah after it. Yeah, we have the Gemara that we have the full values. Make sure it says on top Sukkah.
You got it.
Good morning. Good morning.
Boker Tov, Rabbi Prague. Oops, I didn't get this fixed.
How was the night?
Boker Tov, Rabbi Prague.
Boker Tov.
Morning, Larry.
How was the night?
Everything's, listen, they just posted the names of the 4 boys. They were Golani soldiers.
Yeah, because the Katbam fell straight into the camp.
The base. Yeah, the camp. So they're in a eating hall or something.
Let's open Masechet Sukkah, the After Amud Aleph. You take Sukkah from the table, please. After Amud Aleph in the Mishnah. Sukkah Tet Amud Aleph.
It says it there, Jack.
This is Rosh Hashanah Yomar Sukkah.
Jack, read the bottom.
No, this is not. Here,
No?
this one. Take this one.
Jack, I got one.
Take this one.
I'm sorry.
Look at the Mishnah in Sukkah. Make sure it says on top of your Gemara Sukkah, the After Amud Aleph.
I got it. Oh, okay. That.
Says the Mishnah, Sukkah Yeshana. If you build a sukkah in your backyard in the summer, it has to protect you from the sun, which means the sukkah was built not for the sake of the mitzvah of sukkah, but the sukkah was definitely built for protection from the sun. Beit Shammai Paslim. Beit Shammai said that sukkah like this cannot be used as sukkot. You have to lift the schach and put it back for the sake of the mitzvah of sukkah. Sukkah is the schach. The wall, of course, you need a wall, but sukkah here is the schach. Sukkah yeshana, Beit Shammai poslim, Beit Hillel machshirim. Ve'izu is sukkah yeshana. What is halachically considered? What is halachically considered sukkah yeshana? The Mishnah says, Kol she'asa'ah Kodem lachag 30 yom. We assume if you build a sukkah prior to the holiday, 30 days, which means Tetvav Av, yes? Tetvav Elul, in the middle of Elul. Why? Because you didn't have in mind, if it's 2 weeks before Sukkot, even if you're building it for protection from the sun, you have in mind, most likely, I'm going to sit in the sukkah also. But if when you build it whenever it is, Chanukah, Purim, but you said, this is the sukkah I'm going to build.
What if I did that in the summer?
Even if you do it prior to the summer, if you do it right after the snow, you build the sukkah,
in the summer with
and you had in mind for the summer and for Kaddish and whatever you want, and stock your stuff, but for Sukkot also is good. אבל אם הסעה לשם חג, אפילו מתחילת השנה הכשרה. This is a new concept, and the concept is that certain objects, if they are not manufactured for the sake of the mitzvah, they are unqualified, right? Your mezuzah can be written the nicest, but if it was not written for the sake of mitzvah mezuzah and for the sake of Shem Hashem, the object is pasul. If the fellow that put it into the hold of your garment happens to be a Gentile, middle of a talet, it's pasul. The object, according to Beit Shammai, the chidush is that even the sukkah, if the mitzvah is really to sit in the sukkah, the shofar doesn't have to be made for the sake of shofar.
Right.
The lulav doesn't have to be cut for the sake of the mitzvah. Here, and the Gemara right away goes into Psukim. So look a second at the Psukim. Okay, I'm not going, the Gemara goes back and forth, but the concept, the halacha is not like Beit Shammai, but Pasuk, Ma'ita Amar the Beit Shammai, Amar Kra Chag HaSukkot, Shivat Yamim, LaHashem. What do you mean LaHashem? חג הסוכות, 7 ימים. מה זה להשם? The Gemara says, we might have another sukkah on top there. מה טעמה לבית שמאי? המקרא חג הסוכות 7 ימים להשם. סוכה העשויה לשם חג בעינן. Only if the sukkah is made for the sake of the mitzvah.
Not the material.
We're talking about sukkah means the cover. When you put the cover on the sukkah, you have to say, I'm doing it for the sake of the mitzvah. The Beit Hillel would disagree and say that the sukkah is kosher as long as you were building it to protect from the sun. The Beit Hillel, this pasuk miba'ale, listen to this now. Liked the Rav Sheshet, the Amar Rav Sheshet, Mishur Rabbi Akiva. Listen to this. Minayin le'atzei sukkah, she'asurim kol shiva. The structure of the sukkah, schach, or the walls, cannot be used for anything but for sukkah, which means, let's say there is a storm and the sukkah fell, and anyway you're moving out of the house and you want to use the schach for firewall, asur min haTorah, asur min haTorah. Yes. Let's say some people have a beautiful custom, they hang in the sukkah, olive oil, grapes. Let's say your son says, your wife says, I ran out of olive oil. You cannot take it out. Here is the pasuk here. Minayin le'atzei sukkah.
That's only on the holiday or even after?
So after the holiday, it's mutar b'dah. Again, this pasuk. Let's look at the pasuk again. Chag HaSukkot tas 7 yamim laHashem. The pasuk emphasizes that something in Sukkot has to be done for the sake of Hashem. Beit Shammai are learning it's going on the structure. And Beit Hillel are saying, when you build it, you have to build it for the sake of the mitzvah. Beit Hillel are saying, the structure does not have to be erected for that. After you did, and Sukkot kicks in, only when Sukkot kicks in.
That's their kedusha.
Now, there is this kedusha, but they're right, you realize.
Yeah.
So let's look now. What is kadosh? The schach only, or the walls also? Let's look a second. Bring a second. So Giorgio, where do we put the other book, the other books?
The Alice?
Yeah, no, the Vav. This is the Alice.
Right there, Eli, right there. Mishnah Berurah right there. Right there. No. I'll show you lower, one lower. Right there, it's right in front of you.
Open, Harry, open Simat Taf Reish Lamed Chet, 638. Orach Chaim, 638 Sifar.
Okay.
Remember what the pasuk that Beit Shammai used to teach us. That when you build a sukkah, you have to say, I'm building it for the sake of, for instance, when you bake the matzot, right? Why can't we take regular goyim to be walking this way? The matzot will be 25% less. It has to be a Jew that is connected to the mitzvah. Yes. Average, you look with him. I would look with him. Average Lamed Chet.
See you.
Okay. You see, Shulchan Aruch says, based on what we just saw, Atzei Sukkah Asurim Kol Shmonat Yemei Chag. Shulchan Aruch, of course, wrote it for Jews in Chutz La'aretz also. So he says that you realize Atzei Sukkah. He's not telling me, is it the schach or the walls? Asurim Kol Shmonat Yemei Chag Bein Atzei Adefanot. He says openly, the walls of the sukkah. Ben Atzei schach or the schach. Look what he puts in parentheses. Afilu kisam lachtzotz b'shinav asur. You need a toothpick. You cannot take it. It's asur min haTorah.
Let's say I built my sukkah and it was shaky. So on the Chol HaMoed, I changed one of the walls or beams or something like that.
He's asking that.
No, I replaced it.
So the penalty you took off, you wanna know if you could
In a
use it?
minute, in a minute.
Okay, first, am I allowed to do it? I should
ואין
be allowed.
אותין מהם, you cannot benefit, take any דבר אחר כל 8 הימים. Now he wants to explain why is the 8th day a problem. So I said because of חוץ לארץ. He gives another good reason. זה שיום השביעי כולו הסוכה מוקצו עד בין השמשות. On the 7th day, even in Yerushalayim, yes, the sukkah until the last minute is designated for the mitzvah. Now, when Shmini Atzeret kicks in, the rule is whatever is muktzeh ben hashmashot continues to be muktzeh. So even in Israel, I cannot benefit. We're not talking about the chairs or the table. We're talking about the structure, yes.
So if I'm eating in the house, so if I'm eating in the house on Shemini Atzeret, and I need the chairs from the sukkah,
You can take it because the chairs are only placed in the sukkah. We're talking about the structure of the
You
sukkah.
can't take a twig.
What he's talking is, let's say, you're eating in the house of Shmini Atzeret, if you need the olive oil, it is hanging on the wall, on the sukkah. Don't take it, he says.
don't take it.
Why? Because it's muktzeh till the last minute of Sukkot, which is the end of the 7th, or by us the end of the 8th.
Why are the walls?
First, your previous question. Look at the Rama now. ואפילו נפלה הסוכה. הסוכה fell apart. אסורים, why? The minute they became muktzeh, it's muktzeh until Sukkot is over.
Right.
Even though you did it because you wanted to build the structure for the ולא מהני בתנאי. In a minute you will see the concept of tnai. Okay. Now, please look at the biur halacha. See biur halacha. After biur halacha, I think you have an answer. You look at the biur halacha, the first biur halacha. Says the biur halacha, בין עצי הדפנות, בין עצי סכך. Shulchan Aruch openly said that the walls of the sukkah and the schach. לדעת הראש והעתיקו הטור. The ראש disagrees. בעצי דפנות רקע איסור הכלל.
There's no muktzeh at all.
He says the walls are not asur, says the Rosh. Shulchan Aruch obviously doesn't say so. He goes like the Rambam. Here is a clear machloket Rambam and Rosh. The kedusha that engulfs the sukkah. Here.
So if it did fall down, then I could use the wood for anything.
The Akra, the pasuk that we just saw. Remember, Chag HaSukkot תעשה שבעת ימים להשם, והקרא קרא היא רק על הסכך. אכן, בת המחברת לשולחן ערוך, סתם לדינה כדעת הרמב"ם, finished. שולחן ערוך follows the רמב"ם, את עצי הדפנות גם כן אסורים. הדפנות צריכות לה. דהי לאו דפנות, לאו סוכה. The logic of the Rambam, which is the Shulchan Aruch, is
No walls, no sukkah.
if you're putting 4 poles and you put the schach on top,
What is it?
nothing. The idea is that of the sukkah is the structure that you can dwell here.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it should become muktzeh or that it should
Wait,
become
wait,
a
wait, wait, wait.
Get a chance to ask my question.
Let's continue a minute. אכן, נחלקו בפירושו. According to the Rambam, the walls are asur also. There is a machloket. The data Bet Yosef, the Rambam Isuro Rak Miderabanan. You realize, if the Rambam just gave us the logic, you cannot really have a structure without the walls. זה לא כתוב בפסוק. He says it only מדרבנן, וכן כתב התז. אכן, הבח ועוד כמה אחרונים, סוברים להרמב"ם הוא איסור דאורייתא. It's a מחלוקת אחרונים. In the Rambam who says that the walls are also אסור, is it מדאורייתא, וכן מן הר"ן. ר"ן רבנו ניסים is earlier than them. משמע דסביר עליה דאב דאורייתא. So we have a מחלוקת. Okay, now let's go to your question.
My question is pretty simple, Rabbi. We know, because we did Gemara Sukkah,
you need 2 and tefach, whatever, walls. You know what? I need one of my walls. It's middle of, I need the wall for whatever reason I need it. Why can't I do it? My sukkah is still kosher, still good, still everything. Why can't I do it?
So again, what's the point?
I wanna take a wall.
Yes.
Four walls.
you
I
want
got
to-
4 beautiful walls. I need a wall.
One
Whatever
of
reason I
the
need one.
non-essential walls, the fourth
Can you
wall.
take one?
It's like sukkah is still perfect with 3
So
walls.
let's read the next line, the next page of the Shulchan Aruch.
I mean, I know my question, I don't know.
Ve'im, please listen carefully what he's saying now. Please listen carefully what he's saying. ואם אחר שעשה השיעור,
We were looking.
שולחן ערוך, עכשיו, ואם אחר שעשה השיעור הצריך מן הדפנות, you build already a minimum sukkah. I'm using an example. If it's me and my wife, I need a minimum sukkah. ונשלם הכשר סוכה, never kosher sukkah. He added another one.
Oh, you idiot.
He said this one is not a sukkah.
You added it though when?
Obviously before, but the point is,
The original designated one was
correct,
smaller.
I designated,
expanded.
I designated the minimum wall, this is really what I
So
did.
basically, you said you finished 3 walls, said, oh, I have a sukkah,
Correct.
now I added
So
a
I
4th
said,
wall.
okay, but-
Oh, I made it wider.
but it says, אבל אם השיער בעתן סתם, כולם מסורות ומוקצות.
Right.
My sukkah, I mean, this year, last year I didn't build it, but my sukkah used to be 16 by 12. So, I was 24 guests, yes. I didn't need it. Now, if 3 years,
Rabbi,
my sister-in-law, me and my wife and kids are there, I didn't need such a big one. It's still a sukkah. Why? Because when I build it regularly. Only if I add it, and by adding, I'm showing that this piece is really an added
No, now this
piece.
question is not appropriate because
No,
once it
so-
was
no,
4
so-
walls,
So based.
you didn't add it,
so
it was there from the beginning.
So based
I
on
wanna
that.
take it, but I wanna take it out, it's still
You
kosher.
just-
No, but it
No,
can't.
apparently
You
not.
I got it, it's kosher, but I'm wondering why can't I take it out?
If you-
Rabbi Prague,
Well,
Once you started it, it stays that is.
Fine.
Once
The
you,
minute,
once
the
the
minute, the minute,
designated,
the minute
that's
the
it.
walls are designated, designated,
Rabbi Prague,
yes, yes.
what other mitzvot of a doraisa level do we have that like this? Now, karbanot, I could see could be a.
It's a good question.
I mean, I'm thinking of other.
But matzah has to be baked with Shem matzah, but the matzah is not kadosh. Theoretically, you can take a matzah and fill it to your door.
The difference is you're sitting in the sukkah,
You
it's
see, and the
enveloping
one-
you. It's
See,
not.
this is the point. The point is,
It's like your
because-
jacket, it's like your coat.
because sukkah, as we mentioned yesterday, yes, that sukkah is the only mitzvah besides the mikveh that your entire body is there. And the Zohar says that the kedusha in the sukkah is almost as Beit HaMikdash, but he's right. There isn't any.
So Rabbi Prague, I was thinking,
Think a minute. Oh, the other, yeah. If you
what about the Rabbanan of Hanukkah, the shemen of the.
right. But this is the Rabbanan. What happened to the batim of your tefillin? The box. I'm talking the black box. Forget that, the cover. I'm not using it anymore. I got a new pair of tefillin.
It has-
Nothing can be done to them. It has to be buried. Not only has to be buried. The object himself is kadosh. Yes.
Today, you see,
It's different than,
But why? Because it's tashmishei kedusha.
yeah.
The chidush now is that for the duration of the holiday, the schach and the wall, according to Aran, are becoming an object of kedusha. Look further. It's a good question. I have to think, but I don't think they're.
If the walls are kadosh, would you have a problem leaning on it?
He's asking now, can we lean on the walls? In a minute. It's a good question. Explain to why it's good in a minute. Bet, look and see if bet. Look and see if bet. וכן אוכלים ומשקים food or beverages שתולים בסוכה כדי לנעתה. In the time of the Gemara, when I was a kid and still I see hundred by Hasidim, they always do it. They have all the seven Shivat Aminim in the Sukkah.
Oh.
You see clusters of dates coming down.
Real dates, fresh.
You buy fresh dates, you buy real olive oil, yes, and etc. And then they take
Hanging,
חיטים, it's beautiful. כדי לנע אותה, אסור להסתפק מהם כל שבעה. For the duration of the 7 days, I cannot take out, my son said, here's a fresh day. Leave it there. אפילו נפלו, the feather, the wind blew down. It's not hanging. But the minute the holiday came in, those objects are becoming part of the. וביום טוב ובשבת it says more.
All right.
Now listen to this.
Rabbi Prague, what happens if I have an esrog on the second day it became puzzle? Could I use that esrog to make a lemon for my tea?
Oh, good. So the question is, no, yeah, just in case. Why did you choose the second day? The third day will be fine, but the second is a problem. In a minute, I'll show you in a minute. This is a good point. Listen. So every year, listen to this. And look at the end of the second line. What happened as we are hanging the olive oil and the dates and the grapes, we say,
I'm gonna use it.
ואמר, איני בודל, as the holiday kicks in, I don't want it to become. It helps. Yes? איני בודל בין השמשות, הרי זה מסתפק מהם בכל עת שירצה. שהרי לא יקצה אותם, it was not designated, ולא חלה עליהם קדושת הסוכה. The kedusha that emanates from the pasuk that we learned is only because I attached it to the sukkah. Remember, it's not essential to be there.
No.
So it's me designating it. If I said openly, so every year when I had the kids, I used to always say, we're making it night with all the decorations. Realize the same is exactly about the decoration.
This is a hidur. It's part of a hidur
No, but
mitzvah.
Shabbat, no, but if
But the original problem is because it's a part of the mitzvah, part of a hidur mitzvah. Is that why it'd be asur without a designation?
Yeah, because you are making it part of the
Became part of
sukkah.
that structure, so to speak.
Because
Yeah, but that is, those things that you're hanging there are those considered hidur mitzvah?
you beautify the mitzvah, yes.
No, because you said that tzchak was the most important, and that's.
I
So
understand, but if sukkah, I remember as a kid, I have memories as a kid. I used to walk to my grandfather and I used to see a sukkah that the fellow used to put couches there.
Yeah.
He says, if the sukkah is my house, I mean, remember, it's not something major, but it's a statement, you understand? I remember in Israel, you're not afraid from rain. It's not anymore, but it never rained in Sukkot. Now, how about this? As I'm building the sukkah, I'm saying that I'm making a condition that if I need this wall, as Mel wanted, this wall I'm taking.
Says it was extra
Oh, Eli makes a face. Why not?
Because it's essential.
This
You can't
is,
do without the sukkah.
now go back the page. Go back. Go back a second. It says openly that you cannot make it now on the wall.
You
on
cannot.
the
On
fourth
the wall,
wall,
on the
any
wall,
wall,
on the-
regardless
on
of whether
the
it's
wall.
essential or
If it's not essential, we said before, it's like a piece of plywood. Talk about whatever became sukkah,
Yeah.
whatever is needed for the actual sukkah. We said clearly, if you need for the sukkah 28 by 28 inches, and you're just adding a piece, and you say I'm
not.
adding it,
Yeah. That's
otherwise you cannot. This
So
is-
how's my sukkah still good, Rabbi, if I lose a wall? I lose one wall. I got the other 3 walls.
Okay, again, if when you build
When you
it, you
started.
thought that you might have gas and you need firewood and you want it, then you can make
No,
it.
not that. I built a small sukkah and I had 4
So
walls.
then
The
because
wind blew one down.
because the Torah says that this is kadosh is your
Once you
tefillin for the
designated it.
duration of the holiday. It's tefillin for the duration of the holiday.
So I have a question.
What's your question?
So Friday night, Rabbi Prague has you don't, but let's say you had a very big kos of wine and you made a bracha, you drank. The wine, is the wine kadosh, and could you throw it out?
No, kadosh, you need a pasuk. I mean, you realize it's a tremendous chidush. After Sukkot, the object is not kadosh. A minute before the holiday kicks in, it's not kadosh. And the pasuk that we just heard in Gemara, Chag HaSukkot Shivat Yamim LaHashem says, as the holiday kicks in, the object becomes kadosh. The wine.
Same thing with wine, no? The wine becomes kadosh on Friday night, and then during the week I could have a glass of that wine.
What kadosh is, therefore, the speeches of
Rabbi
rabbis.
says blanket
You know
that
what I
fell
mean?
down.
I know what you say, okay.
No, it's the chefza. Here the chidush is that the chefza of the
Chefza, it's fascinating, it's the chefza.
is schach according to everyone, and the walls according to the Rambam, and the Ran says even the walls is assuming. I mean, it's more to show you what sukkah really is. I mean,
Oh, so then the esrog could really work, because you could buy two.
Drog, let's say, I mean,
But just go back.
I didn't forget your question.
If I'm going to Florida, which I'm not, the second hit is Sukkot.
Why aren't you going?
No.
Yeah,
I say
send
Hamad?
us.
Can
Cause
I-
his wife didn't tell me.
Can I take it? Can I tell my friend, come over, take apart my sukkah, take it to your house and rebuild it? Use all the
You mean
walls
on
and all the
sukkah?
stuff. On
Oh, wow.
Chol Hamoed. On Chol
I
Hamoed.
mean, the sukkah is fine. There's no.
I'm using all of them, just take it apart,
It's
put it back
absolutely-
again, I'm using all the
This
same
is-
So you're
pieces.
allowed to do that work on Moed anyway.
Which means you are not really taking off the kedusha. You just restructure your
Rebuilding it.
Relocation.
In another place.
Logically, the answer is yes, but it might be 100% no.
Oh, you have to do that work on Moed anyway.
They take it from one.
No,
place to-
supportable so-called, they build it under conditions, but to say that, but yeah, it's in a minute,
So
good, good.
hypothetically, I made a blanket on my fourth wall. I used a blanket for the fourth wall. I need that blanket to sleep, but I didn't make it.
So,
tonight.
again, if
And I didn't make it
if you
tonight.
didn't make it at night, this is what we just did.
It's a wall. You cannot use that blanket.
Right.
Even though I'm gonna sleep in the.
Now,
sukkah.
Larry, here's your question. Look in Siman, please open. Tav Reish Samachay,
The second day of Pasul.
665. Tav Reish Samachay, 6. Larry was asking about the etrog. Tav Reish Samachay. You see the title there? The title is Tav Reish Samachay. You have it yet? Etrog asur le'echol b'shvi.
It means
It's the same concept.
you use it, now
Correct,
we're done.
correct. Even though the mitzvah is gone in the seventh, etrog בשביעי אסור, שהרי הוקצה לכל שבעה, yes? אוקיי? ובחוץ לארץ שעושים שני ימים טובים של גלויות, אסור אף בשמיני ומותר בתשיעי, אוקיי? Now please listen good, please listen good. When you buy your etrog, let's talk about Rani's etrog, every year is a Hadar, he buys Moroccan.
And you get it
You
yet.
got it yet?
No, who's in
He gets better. Tell him how much you're paying for. $250, please.
I don't know the price,
it's
because I buy a package.
even better. Yeah. Anyway, so when you bought it for 7 days. What happened if Rani has 7 etrogim? Sunday, the first day, second day, third. Can I eat the etrog of the first day and the second day? Answer is yes. Why? The only reason the etrog. But remember, this is a different type. This is not kedusha. You realize this is called huktzah lemitzvato.
Oh, so
You
you only
eat
bought it
this?
for 1 day?
I was
I had in mind when I bought it.
designating it. I was
This is
designating it
this
for
is
1
game
day.
one,
only.
game two, game three, each one is
Right.
different.
Look now. Look at the Shulchan Aruch now. Larry, look at Seif Bet. Here. Shulchan Aruch Seif Bet.
It lost its kedusha.
Ifrish you designated שבעה אתרוגים לשבעה ימים. כל אחד יוצא בו ואוכלו when? למחר.
Second day.
Not by the end.
It wasn't-
Because when the day
it
was
not
over,
designated
my
for that.
designation
It's over.
was over. Yes?
No, but I asked the question about a, you said before, a sukkah that falls down, you can't use, right?
So we are saying again.
So what about an esrog that comes pasul? Can I eat it or not?
The answer is, he's asking if the etrog became pasul.
Wait, what was your intention with that? I
No,
thought
no,
it was
his
the-
question is you
was
bought
it
it
day
as a
one?
regular etrog and the
For the whole week, when you intended to use it for the whole week?
He's
Even on the
asking,
first day.
is it asur or
He dropped
mutar?
it.
Logically, the answer is mutar, but I might be wrong, but logically, the answer would be for now mutar.
Of
I
what
have two
becomes
questions,
mutar
yeah.
to use on the second day.
Right,
It
right.
depends
Only
how,
the-
so
only
it was
the next-
pasul on the first day, but the second day becomes mutar to use So it doesn't, it should still have a certain kedusha,
No,
maybe.
yeah.
certain thing.
I'm saying after, let's say the second day, you finish benching and it falls. I want to eat it on the third day.
But second day
I
you're
know,
gonna
I know,
use
but
it.
the question is, when I designate the object,
I know.
or designate, what made it as soon,
The
the
function.
designation for the mitzvah or not? The mitzvah, but this is really the question, really.
And you
So
already
in
said
a
it
second-
Benachanot or no?
Now, when we said that if I designate 7 etrogim, everyone can be eaten tomorrow, yes? How about the following night?
Oh.
The sun is setting and Sukkot at 6:15. Can I have the etrog, Larry? Can you cut the etrog that you designate for the first day as lemon for your tea? It's the question. The answer is
On the
yes.
second day,
What?
on the
Is the
second day.
etrog
Again, the
pasul
first,
or not?
I have 7 etrogim. The first day is over.
Yeah.
Now it's supper time. It's definitely dark outside. The answer is mutar.
It's
Why?
on day one.
Because you cannot take the etrog. Following that, if the etrog becomes pasul, it's exactly the same. You realize? Which means you like, if in time when the mitzvah cannot be fulfilled, the designation is not there. If I designated a single etrog for 7 days,
That's another story.
it's a su at night only because of tomorrow. You realize?
Right,
But the minute I designated it for one,
So if
Yeah,
you
true.
designate it and you, those other, the other lulavs, can you use the one first day, the second day?
if what?
You designated one for each day. And you know what, you went someplace, you
Of
had the
course,
first
if
one,
you want, of course you can take it. Yeah, of course.
but you didn't designate it for the second day.
So you can designate it in the morning. Open a second, Siman Tav Reish Nun Gimal, 653. Tav Reish Nun Gimal.
Rabbi, stickiness, am I allowed to smell it through?
This is exactly what we're looking at. Tav Reish Nun Gimal. We're looking at this Medagassim.
Yeah,
You got it?
I take it.
No, Zay is showing you.
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
Remember, we learned now. See the Chokhmah is to realize.
I love this.
We started with Machloket Bet Shammai Bet Hillel. We have to build it Lishma, not the halacha is not. But everyone agrees that the structure of the sukkah is kadosh, the schach, even the Rosh agrees, the walls, the Rambam, Machloket. Now we went into a new type of kedusha of huktzah lemitzvatot, designated for the mitzvah. So Giorgio wants to know, can you smell the etrog?
So the original purpose was not to that. it's to use
No, I paid $250 for the mitzvah. Look at the Shulchan Aruch, look at the title. You have it, Larry? Hadas,
Mhm.
Asur La'ariach.
Oh.
You have the
it.
title.
Even the Hadass.
Hadas.
Is it?
It
You gotta break
Use it as besamim.
Besamim. Motzei Shabbat.
If it doesn't smell, don't use the Hadas.
No, but it only.
Which means,
Yeah, but
Charles-
you gotta rub it together.
good Hadas, good Hadasim,
Even the raw leaf without blending it.
15 each, come.
Hadass, you tell me, Rabbi, the Hadass doesn't smell without rubbing it?
Yeah, it does.
They're saying it all day long on Shabbat.
Hadas,
But they
Hadas Shel
break a little
Mitzvah,
bit.
Hadas,
Can't break it.
please listen.
Motzei Shabbat.
It's fascinating. Listen good. Hadas Shel Mitzvah, Asur La'ariach bo. No questions. אבל אתרוג של מצווה, אתרוג של מצווה, מותר להריח בו. wait. מן הדין, אלא לפי שנחלקו אם מברכים עליו או לאו, if you, which ברכה would you make if this morning אתרוג? בורא עצה ושמים, בורא מיני
I'm
ושמים?
guessing I said.
לפי שנחלקו, let's finish.
That's here.
Let's finish, guys, let's finish. אלא לפי שנחלקו אם מברכים עליו, אם לאו יש למנוע ולהריח בו. He says you better off not smelling the etrog. Let's look משנה ברורה.
Wait, but you know what, could you look at the tour for a minute?
I know, but just a minute, just a second, okay? How can logically, why am I not permitted to smell hadas and etrog? Yes, both of them were designated for mitzvah. Look at the Mishnah Berurah, it's fascinating. לפי, משנה ברורה, אסור להריח, לפי שעיקרו אינו אלא להריח בו.
Ikara of the Hadass or?
כי הדסים are made, people, you realize, people grow hadasim all year and to smell it. So when you're designating it for mitzvah means I'm not using it for the normal usage which is smelling, but to smell. לפי שעיקרו אינו אלא להריח. ומזה הוקצה כל שיבה. What am I designating it for the sake of the mitzvah? Not to do it what I'm doing regularly with other things.
Not for aroma.
Right. אבל אתרוג, עיקרו אומר לאכילה, it's a citrus food like a lemon. ומזה לבד, hear this, what the human mind is doing? What are you designating it from? Not from a citrus food, but an object of mitzvah. So the only thing I cannot do by etrog is to eat it. ומזה לבד הוקצה ולא מלהריח. אלא, ג'וג'ו, שנחלקו בברכה של הנותן ריח טוב בפירות. יש אומרים, לכיוון דלא עבידה לריחה. But etrog, certainly if you pay $250, you're not buying it to smell. מפני שהוא של מצווה אין לברך עליו, לא ניתן לברכה. So therefore he says, now you remember we saw two opinions. If you make a condition on the sukkah, ועיין בבית יוסף בשם הרשב"א, לעניין תנאי עם ההני בהדס. What happened if I designate the hadas for the mitzvah, but I say I would like to smell it too. Beit Yosef brings a Rashba on it. I didn't look inside. Now, ועיין בסימן תר"י ס"ד סעיף ט'. Let's go תר"י ס"ד סעיף ט' 664. סעיף ט'. Please look carefully. So we spoke about, remember, we spoke about the etrog. You can smell the etrog. The hadasim you cannot. And can you make a precondition or not? The Beit Yosef, if I have time today, I might look. This is a fascinating question. Look at סעיף ט'. סעיף ט'. You have it? יש מי שאומר שאסור ליהנות מן הערבה לאחר נטילתה. האישוק לערבה, I need it for something, yes? You cannot. Assuming now, tomorrow I might have another one. I didn't designate the 7 ערבות, but this is a regular ערבה. אם לא, יתנה עליה מעיקרה. Unless you made a condition. If you understand here, this is the question of hadasim. Here it says openly you can make it now. Correct? Why would hadas be different? But you see, the difference is arava is no function. So the only thing I'm doing it as I'm designating it for the mitzvah. Hadas is a function. Smell. I moved myself away. I said I'm designating it not for smell. This is why. Look further.
You're saying when you did not, so you don't have to wait till you say bracha on it. They're missing from the outset, even before you even.
The minute I place the hadasim in my set,
that's
I'm saying it.
Even if you say bracha.
No. Until Sukkot kicks in.
No, Sukkot kicked in. I just woke up in the morning. I didn't make my.
I didn't use it yet.
I didn't use it yet.
It's definitely mitzvah.
It's still just like whether I made bracha on it on the outside or not.
It's a mitzvah. It's a designation.
Right.
Look further in Shulchan Aruch. Again, יש מי שאומר שאסור ליהנות מן הערבה לאחר נטילתה. ואם לא יתנה עליה מעיקרה. Unless you make the precondition. לכולה יומא, for the entire day, it cuts the same as all the food. לכולה יומא התקצר למצוותה.
So Sukkot morning, I didn't know my son bought me an etrog, and he comes over and it's much nicer than the one I have. I haven't even done anything yet. So I'm gonna take
Hear what
my
Eli
old
says.
one.
You designated
I
yours
didn't
also.
designate him, not
Oh, he
designate.
designated, he didn't designate his son.
No, he didn't know the first
Got
thing
it.
I was
He
saying.
is, he designated.
Of course, he gave you as a gift.
It's a
As-
gift,
as
so
an
I took it as a
alternate,
gift.
the second one.
His son designated is something good.
So I never
The
designated.
first
it.
set was
Should
designated.
your son's designation, but he designated it for his father's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what about my
He
old one?
intended, you know,
Question is, what's
now he has
status
his
of my
other
old?
set, he had set
It was
aside,
designated.
set aside for the support, and his dad
This
still
is
called it.
interesting.
According to the thing, which should still be
Yeah.
mukseh, because.
But when he bought it with the
Logically, yes.
intention of
Because what we said,
sanctifying
when
it.
the guy designates each one for each day had to be designated to be
It's good,
mutad.
By Prague?
Yes, yes.
What is the lashon is yesh mi shomer she'asur lehanot min hava?
Always, when he says Yesh Mishu Omer, means it's not being discussed by many, but whoever says it is major. Look, you have a tiny iron. Look at the iron. You see the iron near the Yesh Mishu Omer? You ever see
Like
iron?
a footnote.
Yesh Mishu Omer, look at the side of Ba'er HaGola, Gaot Maimoniyot, Hashem Rabbi Eliezer Mimitz. I mean, if you know the names, Gaot Maimoniyot is one of the major commentators on the Rambam on the bottom. There's no time to look into it, but we will look in the Rambam. So the Gaot Maimoniyot brings from the Rabbi Eliezer Mimitz is the Yereim, one of the earliest Rishonim. So the Shulchan Aruch says others are not saying it. So I'm not okay. So now.
That's why maybe going back to what you said, that's why the Arava is considered maybe incorrectly to be the least important of all the Arava.
Correct.
All right, maybe a proof for what he was asking.
Look a second at Biur Halakha. Eli is asking a general question. Is the designation me putting it into the set? But here Eli doesn't know. Or no, his son bought it as a etrog to be used as a support.
Yeah, he just didn't tell me. I didn't know it. He brought it over that morning.
Yes, you have to look at this. You have three questions today that we said Elijah, which means nothing. Im lo itna, look a second.
Means nothing.
No, because it's a major question. It's not. Look at the Biur Halakha. Im lo itna, לכאורה, כוונתו כמו לעניין לא עיסוקה, that we saw already, that the decorations becomes not kadosh if you make a precondition, שצריך שיתנה קודם בין השמשות, שאינו בודל ממנו, which means, if I'm making an Erev Sukkot at night, on the third day, when I'm going to change the Arabot anyway, I would like to use it, אמנם, לפי מה שכתב, this runs now into the next question, לפי מה שכתב בביקורי יעקב, סימן תו, ביקורי יעקב is 200 years ago, he's a major commentator על עניינים of סוכות, סגי כשיתנה קודם עשיית המצווה, שלא יאסר על ידי עשיית המצווה, כי אינו בודל מהם. This runs into Eli's question, והוא הדין לעניין הדס. Comes the Bikuray Yaakov and says, Sukkah is kadosh because of the pasuk. So the precondition has to be made before Sukkot begins. Here, the Hadassim are becoming asur because I'm designating it for the mitzvah. If I did not, even before I shook it, I'm saying I'm not going to use it. This now I know what to look. We'll continue tomorrow with this topic, okay? Yes, I'm listening, yes. So go ahead.
What happens, why is it that if you use the batim for tefillin, you have to bury them? Why you then, why shouldn't you do the same thing with an esrog or a lulav? What are we?
Etrog is considered tashmishei mitzvah. Leave it, put it separate on the bottom. We should know tomorrow it's separate. But the bayit of the tefillin has a name tashmishei kedusha. The Arba Minim are called Tashmishei Mitzvah. Shulchan Aruch says in Siman Aleph, Tashmishei Mitzvah Nizrakim. After the mitzvah is over, so to say, the designation evaporated. Okay, give me a second, Chelekar. I'll tell you what to give me Chelekar. If you have time now, look, I'll tell you what to look. I have to run. You have to look in the ear. I'll tell you in a second.
You can look at Don't run.
It's a good question. I just want to tell you. Look a second in Siman 21 Shulchan Aruch. This is the answer to your question. I have to run. You.
Go ahead.
Israel, I put it.
Quick question. Can I take the Arava from my lab and put it on the schach? So I have better Arava cleaning?
You used it already.